You may remember Billie Holiday as the gorgeous jazz singer from the first half of the 20th century with a very unique voice, who was addicted to drugs, which would eventually be her downfall. But maybe it wouldn't have been if she had gotten the treatment she needed, instead of being treated like a criminal and hounded by a man aimed at taking her down and destroying her life because of racism and one song. One powerful song called Strange Fruit that is known as the first anthem of the early civil rights movement. The trouble started when Billie Holiday recorded Strange Fruit in 1939. Written by poet and songwriter Abel Meeropol under the pseudonym Lewis Allen, the song poetically and vividly depicts lynched bodies hanging from trees as strange fruit. It became Holiday's signature song and solidified her fame. Now, if you haven't heard this song, I recommend you have a listen to it. There is no other song like it. She was initially concerned about singing Strange Fruit live, fearing for her safety and her career. But the impact the song had was profound, and she moved it to the end of the show because nothing could follow it. Strange Fruit became an activist anthem against white supremacy and lynching in America, so much so that the US government wanted it shut down. Anti-lynching bills had been introduced in Congress and made it through the House of Representatives for decades, but were blocked by the Senate because of filibuster or threat of filibuster. Can you believe that? A bill that would ensure punishment for such horrific crimes didn't make it into law for decades. In fact, the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act just passed in the spring of 2022, making lynching a federal hate crime. You heard that right. Just last year, an anti-lynching bill finally passed the Senate and became law. Because for years, lynching has been a powerful domestic terror tool that helped ensure white supremacy reigned in the United States. So you can imagine why Billie Holiday's song Strange Fruit caused such a controversy, since it could potentially empower people to rise up. She was warned not to sing the song, but she kept on singing it. She was using her voice to spread the truth of what was allowed to happen in her country, making listeners confront the brutality of lynching. The way to get her to stop? Arrest her for drugs. Harry Anslinger, commissioner of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics, made it his mission to not only stop Billie Holiday from singing Strange Fruit in public, but to ruin her life. Anslinger, being racist, hated using black agents, but he knew white agents would stand out too much in Harlem. So he sent a black agent, Jimmy Fletcher, to infiltrate Billie's world and entrap her with a drug sting that led to a year in prison for her. Jimmy and Billie had an interesting relationship, considering it said he fell in love with her and felt guilty about being the man responsible for sending her to prison. And she seemed to like him too. But Billie always had complicated relationships with men in her life. Once out of prison, Billie performed her comeback concert at Carnegie Hall, but she wasn't able to make much money and her performances were limited because her cabaret card had been revoked when she went to prison. Eventually, Billie Holiday became very ill as a result of years of alcohol abuse, drug abuse, and violent relationships and was hospitalized in 1959. She began methadone treatment and started to recover, but was arrested while still in the hospital when a nurse found drugs by her bedside. Harry Anslinger's men prevented the hospital from administering any more methadone, and Billie's health declined quickly, and she died within a few days at the age of 44. When you hear a Billie Holiday song, you can hear the emotion in her voice, reflecting her complicated life of love and pain, joys and sorrows. Her life may have seemed tragic, but I could only dream of leaving this world the kind of gift that she left. Think about how powerful the song Strange Fruit was. Those words, that poem set to music, that was so powerful the government had to stop it, stop her from using her voice to sing it. It's a theme throughout history that people speaking out against injustice of our society are silenced, but you'll never silence Billie Holiday. Her voice will live on forever. We're still fighting racism today and for civil rights for all of our citizens. It feels like we're going backwards right now. I'm ready for a new anthem, powerful enough to bring us all together for a revolution.